Three little letters never got so much attention. For 2 years, they ruled headlines in BC. Now the final moments tick past as the HST's fate is about to be announced. Finally, the news arrives, literally hot off the press.
Release the results. There you go. Take a copy. The yes side, 54.73%, and the no side, 45.27%.
British Columbians have spoken decisively, and the HST has been defeated. But it's not dead yet. It'll take at least 18 months for the province to negotiate with Ottawa and get back to the previous 12% combination of GST plus PST. A historic moment in BC politics that saw a grassroots movement slay an unpopular tax.
It's the first time in the British Commonwealth that the people actually had a say in how it is they're taxed.
I think it's a great thing. It means that going out to eat is going to be cheaper. It's a big plus.
I'm in business. It was a great tax, implemented improperly, and we're going to feel the effects, the negative effects for years to come.
As government manages to get to a balanced budget.
So now what? Disappointed but not surprised, Finance Minister Kevin Falcon announced the plan to move forward in the face of a $3 billion hole that's just ripped through the government's pockets.
$1.6 billion of that, of course, is the repayment of the transition dollars to the federal government. The balance of that are the lost revenues as a result of 2 years of reduced revenues under a PST-GST world.
For the next year and a half at least, the HST will remain in effect. Meanwhile, the province will figure out the nuts and bolts of how to transition back to collecting PST separately, including registering new businesses in the province and hiring PST administration staff. The tax will be reinstated at 7% with all permanent PST exemptions.
This is a bump in the road, a significant bump in the road indeed, but as I advised the financial markets and the credit rating agencies when I was back in New York and Toronto, it is a manageable bump in the road.
That's not the way the NDP sees things. Opposition leader Adrian Dix spent his time before the cameras today attacking the government and calling this a victory for democracy.
The people won. They won over liberal arrogance. They won over a campaign which used public funds to try and mislead people about the HST.
But some say this victory for democracy comes with a price tag, creating a lot of economic uncertainty and costly delays on the horizon.
We've already seen people waiting to see what's going to happen to the HST before they make some of the major decisions where tax becomes a big factor. And those decisions are probably now going to be delayed another 18 months.
It may not have been Premier Christy Clark who brought in the HST. We all know that belongs to former Premier Gordon Campbell, who resigned late last year. Now it's up to Clark to pick up the pieces, and she's putting a brave face on the results.
But I think whatever the outcome, we are better off for having had this process, for having really engaged British Columbians in the run-up to the process and talking about what we wanted the HST to look like. And then in the outcome as well, and getting people to the polls to engage on an issue of vital public importance.
Clark says this shows her government is listening to the people and that she's bringing in a different style of leadership. She says she will focus on making sure BC doesn't lose its competitive edge on the national scene.
What I'm going to do in the fall is focus 100% on everything we need to do to promote the creation of jobs and to ensure that we defend the jobs that are there.
But will the sting of the HST continue to plague the government? The answer to that one will be clear next time the province goes to the polls. But as for when, Clark would not address whether she was ready to pull the trigger and call an election anytime soon. In Victoria, I'm Hillary Hallman for The Daily.